you all wonderful people, lovers of aviation history, aviation enthusiasts, and welcome to this series of life sharing experiences coming to you from the Aviation Maestro Multimedia Network. Captain Amoah is my name, and we've done a lot of justice to whip up the confidence in the aerophobians, those who are afraid to fly. There's nothing wrong with being afraid to fly, but it's so sad that one of the safest modes of transport, if not the safest, that's air transport. We get you to destinations faster, cheaper, and in a more, if I say, humorous and luxurious way. And the next thing you see is some people are just scared to fly. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Some are also scared to drive. Some are also scared to sail. So there's nothing wrong if you are scared to fly. But I just thought that I should share some experiences with you and let you know how far the whole industry has come, how far we've come before we start talking about why are you afraid, which we've done in our previous videos. And today we are going to look at yourself. In our last video, we talked about how aircrew prepare themselves for flights, what we do when we report for work, people we see, briefings we conduct, the teams we work with, because not only the pilot, flight attendants, when we get to the ramp or where the aircraft is parked, we work with a series of ground operations crew. They are also to make sure that the passengers go through wherever they are supposed to go safely and according to call facilitation. They also see to all these things. Somebody is supposed to coordinate that the fuel is being loaded on time, baggage is going in and out. So we work with so many teams to get the aircraft safely from A to B. So on our very last video before this one, we spoke about what we all go through, because we reminded you, just in case you've forgotten a bit, we reminded you that we, the crew, are human beings just like you. We also have our fears, we also have our joys, our sorrows, religious beliefs, and everything that you have. But it's just because of trying to, if I say, elevate your fears or whip up your confidence, we go through a system anytime that we go to work. And like I told you, even though the ideal situation is for us to wake up from bed, have enough rest, almost like 8 hours of rest before our next flight and all these things, it's not every day we get it 100%. Things happen. You know, if you are light sleepers like some of us, sometimes you can be asleep. In the middle of the night, someone comes with his motorbike. Of late, you know what's going on in the street. Motorbikes with their cracked exhaust pipes, and you know the noise they make. They wake you up maybe somewhere around 12 midnight, and you are just tossing and turning. You can't sleep again. And just when you are just about to catch your sleep, your alarm goes off because it's time to wake up and go, prepare yourself for work. We are human beings just like anybody, and it's not 100% each time that we are supposed to wake up under ideal situations, prep yourself for work, get to work, and everything goes clockwork. No. So because of this thinking and all these things that went into operations, most airlines, and I mean when I say most airlines who are operating according to International Civil Aviation Organization Annex A, have a system where you go through dispatch system. And all the things that we briefed on the previous videos, what we go through before we get on board the aircraft. When we get on board the aircraft, there are different set of teams we are working with. But the aircraft dispatcher who dispatched me some minutes ago have also their ways of monitoring us, what is going on. In fact, once we get on board the aircraft, we have a radio communications frequency just to be talking to the flight, because the flight dispatch is like the whole operations nerve, the heart nerves. So all these things are done just to make sure that flights are safe, and whatever moods we came to work with, all those things being straightened out sort of in operations. We come on board, there are things we are supposed to do, signatures we are supposed to sign, what the engineers are supposed to do, what ground crew are supposed to do. We work with so many teams when we come on board. All is to make sure that you are safe. Now today the ball is in your court, and we're just going to give you a few nuggets of what you should do if you think you still fear flying, and even you are now convinced with what I've said. There are also some things that you are supposed to do, because my prime aim is to let you enjoy the flight. I can't see, or I cannot still perceive why people should struggle and try to be unsafe when they are flying. So what you are supposed to do, you two before you get to the airport, and you two out of the airport, to ensure a stress-free, hassle-free flight. First of all, whenever you buy your tickets, please at the time you are supposed to come to the airport, do whatever it takes. I understand there are so many factors, transport, lack of transport in this part of our world, so many factors that may make you come to the airport late. But unfortunately, when you also come late, just like you just put your body into what we call an unproductive stress level. And when your body is in unproductive stress, you don't act the way you think you want to act. Lateness, as much as possible, should be curtailed. For me, if I'm a passenger, 2 hours before departure, I'm at the airport. Why? Because it helps you relax. The earlier you are, the more your nerves are cooled. 9 out of 10 times when you go and check in, you'll be like the second person, the third person, or even the fourth in the queue. Within 5 minutes, you are done with your check-in. The baggages you brought, you've checked it in, all things being equal, even you didn't come with excess baggage. Okay, if you have weighing scales in your house, it's a good idea to weigh your bags before you bring it to the airport, because some airports, if you exceed the limit and you're not prepared to pay the excess, your bag is not going anywhere. And if the bag is not going anywhere, 9 times out of 10, you two ain't going nowhere. So all these things just reduce the stress. Check the weight of your bags in your homes before you come to the airport. Check the weight of the bags. If it's okay within the limit, they will tell you what your limits are. So when you get to the airport and you are early, like 2 hours before departure, you check in your bag, you are cool, fill in the necessary forms, go through the facilitation process. And I have another video on literacy that takes you through the facilitation process, what you do after check-in till you get to the boarding gate. So it relaxes you. This is why even if you've not even eaten, because you wanted to get to the airport early, we have so many restaurants at the airport where you can have your meal. So many bookshops, you can buy magazines to, while away the time, etc. If you are relaxed, please listen to all the announcements. Look at the TV monitors, which shows the status about your flight, because sometimes your boarding gate is not ready until some certain minutes before the flight. If you are not sure, ask any airport staff. Or the whole idea is, before you hop on the aeroplane, you are less stressed. So first thing, weigh your bags in the home before you bring it to the airport, so you don't I've seen so many of these happen where some people have come with so much excess, they don't have the money to pay the excess fee. They are now removing things they don't need in their bag. They are putting some in their handbag. They are giving some to the person who accompanied them to the airport to take back home. And this stress is what we call unproductive stress which didn't come from the nature of the job, or it has nothing to do with air transport. You are excess, you don't want to pay the excess fee, and you just weigh yourself less. Weigh your bags and travel less. You're lightweight. Now, after you've found yourself at the boarding gate, relax. Continue monitoring the PA announcements. Same thing, look on the TV for any updates on your flight. You are not sure, ask an airline crew. And also, some of the security tips, please. Just come simple. Don't come with a pen knife in your pocket because you think that maybe that's what you use to manicure your nails or whatever. All these things are not needed, because obviously when you go through security screening and you have a pen knife on you, you are going to be sidelined. You are going to be extra profiled. All this is waste of time and everything. And it also increases your stress level. Please, contraband goods, we are in a day and age where, please, these things are no more necessary. If you come with contraband, you'll be caught. When you are caught, it's so many issues. You just want to enjoy the flight. So just make life simple. When you get to the gate side, like I said, monitor the announcements and everything. You are not sure, ask somebody. When you are going through security, make sure that you are traveling light, not too many things. I've seen some people, they shop, then they have a little bit of perfumes here, and most of you, your bags, even your handbags, everything inside is so questionable. Liquids, because the aviation security does not permit liquids of certain volumes and etc. If you only would just cut down the stress and just travel light. Now, when you go on board, you realize that sometimes they've assigned you to what we call the seats which are in the emergency exits. Most airlines, flight attendants would ask you if you want to assist them in emergency. It's just a subtle way of saying that, where you are sitting, you are almost like me. When we have an emergency, help me do what I am supposed to do. It's another way of saying it. I shouldn't be saying this though, but just for your briefing, it's another way of saying that when you have the flight attendant approach you and say, you are sitting at the emergency exit, will you be able to assist me please, if you are not ready for stuff like that, decline. I'm not saying that when you say yes and touch wood, the emergency happens and you don't help, somebody will sue you. No. But if you don't want all this stress, you just say, please, can I be reseated? If you don't want to get. Sometimes some passengers also want to help, because in real life, sometimes the flight attendants will not be able to accommodate all the stress. We have some people which we call EVPs, extra voluminous people. I know it's not going to happen, but in the most unlikely event of an emergency, to get that EVP off the aeroplane and things like that, you can see it's not only the flight attendants alone who can do it. So they may ask your assistant, because sometimes you've been assigned, through no fault of yours, they've assigned you to a seat which is on the emergency row. Advantage of the emergency row for people like us with long legs is that we have more leg room to, feel free and everything. But it comes with a price. But if you think, look, you are just not ready to, because now that you say, I want to assist, they are now going to give you a briefing card which shows that if this happens, do this. And it's almost like you are doing an exam, like, hey, Jack, do you really need, if you don't need this stress, all you just tell them is, please, can I be reseated? Period. And they will just reseat you. Just try and make life comfortable for yourself, because you yourselves, you are now trying to overcome that fear. So there are a lot of strategic ways to overcome it. One thing is, don't go and accept anything like that. I'm not saying something will happen, but just say, please, I want to be reseated. And let them just sit you somewhere else. Then continue to read your magazines, listen to the flight announcements. Like I said, with the flight attendant demos, I won't use it for this video. I'll use it for a separate video where we just tell you what each of them mean. So listen to the announcements as much as possible. Try to understand everything. The flight attendants are on board for your safety and comfort. It's because of you they came to work anyway, not because of themselves. They've already briefed. They also know and anticipate so many things of that you fear of. They know all these things. They have ways to deal with you and things. So enjoy the flight. Enjoy the briefings that will be given to you from the captain or the flight attendant. Along the way, look outside. Try to enjoy the world. Like I've told you so many things about the aircraft. The manufacturer has gone through 18 months from design to launch. It's not going to be anything that will be in there and just break into pieces. And over the years, nothing has happened of that nature. So enjoy the flight. That's all I can say. But always have a lot of things to accompany you. Reading. Always read, read. Some flights have entertainment systems. Hey, if you like jazz music, some flights have it there. Listen to the jazz. If you like gospel, listen to it. And do a lot of things to make your own self happy. If you have to sleep, let's say it's a long haul flight, just sleep. That's all. But another tip I'll give you before the flight, please don't eat, excuse me to say, for lack of a better word, indiscriminately or carelessly. Too much starch. Just eat normal size foods, because some of you, your intestinal system may not be really, if I say, properly functioning. As when you climb to altitude, there's a lot of expansion on the intestinal system. And when you've eaten very heavily, you feel a lot of discomfort. It's almost like you want to just go into your belly, lift everything and throw it away, just for you yourself to feel free by all these things. So just eat a normal meal. Don't eat anything which is leaves, which has the extra propensity to get into food poison and all. Those things, avoid it. Just eat a simple meal when you come on board. That's why you see that most aircraft meals are of a certain size. It's all because of the way your intestinal things react as and when expands, as and when you are climbing to altitude, contracts, as and when you are descending back to the ground and etc. Eat simply, drink lots of fluids, water, juices, lots of them when you're on flight, enough to make you not dehydrated. Drink these kind of fluids, and you always see there's a reason the aircraft's meal, the size of the meal is what it is. The reason, and look at what is in it. You see, so try to avoid a lot of leaves if you have an irritable bowel. Try to avoid leaves, beans, and things pre and for post-flight. Everything. Okay. And also, my last one to expecting mothers. On some of my flights, I see a lot of things go on, and I'm like, maybe I may need another video to describe it. If you take seed, please, if you know yourself, within the next 2 months, stop flying after 2 months. Okay? Stop flying after 2 months, because as and when you continue to fly, the constant expansion and contraction of your systems, all these things can have a detrimental effect on your fetus. I've seen some people, even though most of the regulations require that don't fly after 28 weeks of pregnancy, I've seen some people, you can just look at them and literally say they are way past whatever they are going, but for some reason they have a doctor's report which says it's good to go. All these things are not desirable. Don't put yourself in a certain stress levels, because when it comes, the push comes to the shove, and you have system things disturbing your system, there's only so much the flight attendant can do. So I've seen some people, they are way past their 28 weeks. You still have a doctor's report saying fit to fly, they are fit to fly. You get into yourself into some emergency there. There's only so much the flight attendant can do, only so much. So we'll come to that things like that. But to prepare yourself, weigh your bags, eat well, come to the airport early, monitor announcements, bring a lot of reading material as possible, drink a good amount of fluids, and just try to stay calm. Why do I say stay calm, aerophobia? Because of what I've explained in the past. We are well regulated, the aircrafts are well designed and built, well maintained, we have crew who are doing their work professionally, and this is why we say relax. I've enjoyed you so much, and we'll start another new video coming up next time.